lost in the unknown. It was supposed to be a routine drive home, but one wrong turn changed everything. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Sarah found herself driving down a dark, unfamiliar road. She had taken a wrong turn, and now she was well and truly lost. Her phone had no signal, and the GPS seemed to be leading her in circles. Panic started to rise in her chest. She had heard stories of this part of the countryside, stories of people disappearing without a trace. She tried to keep calm, but as the road twisted and turned, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Just when she thought she couldn't take it anymore, Sarah's headlights fell upon a small, quaint village. Relieved, she drove into the center, only to find that the village was deserted. As she stepped out of the car to investigate, she heard a voice behind her. "You shouldn't have come here." Before she could react, she was surrounded by shadowy figures. The wrong turn had led her straight into a trap, and now she had no way out. Staring at the encroaching figures, Sarah's heart thudded in her chest. Fear rooted her to the spot as the villagers closed in around her, their eyes glinting in the dim moonlight. "What do you want from me?" she stammered, her voice barely rising above a whisper. The silence that followed was suffocating, broken only by the low murmurs of the villagers. Suddenly, an elderly man stepped forward, his weathered face etched with a mix of concern and caution. "You've stumbled into a place you shouldn't have," he said gravely. Sarah's mind raced as she tried to comprehend her predicament. What kind of place was this, and why did they seem so intent on keeping her there? Sensing her apprehension, the old man motioned for the others to stand back. "We have been isolated from the rest of the world for a long time," he explained. "We can't afford to be discovered." Confusion clouded Sarah's thoughts. Isolation? What did he mean by that? Sensing her bewilderment, the old man continued. "Our village has its own ways, its own traditions. Outsiders rarely leave once they stumble upon us." As the implications of his words sank in, Sarah's apprehension deepened. She had unwittingly stumbled into a secluded community, seemingly cut off from the outside world. Her desire to leave grew more urgent, but she knew she had no chance to escape on her own. The old man's expression softened as he noticed Sarah's distress. "You have two options," he said, holding out a weathered hand. "You can stay with us and become one of us, or—" His voice trailed off, leaving the unspoken alternative lingering in the air. Sarah's mind whirled with uncertainty. Could she trust these people? What kind of life awaited her if she stayed? The eerie stillness of the village made her skin crawl, yet the thought of venturing back onto the dark, unfamiliar roads was equally unsettling. As she weighed her options, a flicker of movement caught her eye. In the distance, she glimpsed the faint glow of a distant light. Hope surged within her as she realized that there might be a way out after all. Without a word, Sarah bolted toward the source of light, leaving the village and its enigmatic inhabitants behind. Running blindly through the woods, Sarah's heart pounded in her ears. The light grew brighter, and she soon found herself standing at the edge of the village, facing the outside world. As she took a step forward, a powerful force seemed to pull her back. Looking down, she saw ancient twisting roots rising from the ground, entwining around her ankles. Panic surged through her, and she struggled against the roots, but they refused to relinquish their hold. As the villagers closed in, their expressions a mix of concern and determination, the old man stepped forward, his eyes filled with a strange mix of sadness and resolution. "You've made your choice," he murmured, and with a gentle touch, the roots receded, releasing Sarah from their grasp. Breathing heavily, Sarah stumbled out of the village into the night, her mind reeling from the surreal encounter. She knew she would never forget the isolated village and its enigmatic inhabitants, and the feeling of being pulled back by the roots would haunt her for a long time to come. But for now, she was free, and she vowed never to take a wrong turn again.